Welcome to the grand finale, the round to rule them all. The My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship, presented by Motul, has made it to the Bend, the internationally acclaimed world-class motorsport precinct in sunny South Australia, and every class has come down to the wire. Our front runners can smell that silverware and taste that champagne. Hello, I'm Kate Peck, and with me is former World Endurance and ASBK champion Steve Martin. Steve, how is this for some cracking weather? The beautiful Bend, we're here, we made it.
Absolutely, I love coming to this place. It's such a beautiful circuit, what a layout it is, and it creates such amazing racing. I cannot wait for this day to get started.
Well, and what a circuit it is to do it, Steve, because we've got the Bend and 18 corners and 4.9 kilometres of action. Talk us through the lap.
Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic circuit. It is just such a long circuit here, hard on the brakes into that left-hand corner. Then we've got these right-handers. You just flip through these. You've really got to keep your momentum up. And then it's a quick flick to the left and onto the right. A little bit of a rest on that short straight there and hard braking into the Alpine Stars corner. On the run home, we turn left through Modal. It's a long, long left-hand side of the tyre there. Easy to high side, we've seen that. Through the right, then down into the hard braking Michelin corner. Easy to get caught out there too. Keep the momentum up, down through Yamaha corner, down that straight and over the finish line, where you're doing roughly 300 kilometres an hour on these superbikes.
6 riders taking victories and a further 6 stepping onto the podium over the 11 races held so far this season. This championship is going right down to the wire between the top 3. It is the 2 South Australians, Olly Simpson and Ty Lynch, that will do battle with New South Welshman Cameron Dunker to decide who will be the Michelin SuperSport champion for 2023.
For me to win the championship this weekend, it meant a lot to me. First year on the 600, and yeah, I can't really believe what I've done so far this year, but it's been an awesome year, and yeah, I think it'd mean the world to me if I won this weekend.
To win a championship would be pretty special. I mean, yeah, it's really what we've been working for like the whole past 2 years since I jumped on the 600, even from the 300s from previous years. Yeah, definitely would be one of the highlights of my one of my careers for sure.
I think personally it means a lot to everyone involved. It's not just me, it's my whole family, my whole support crew, all the mechanics, everyone that's been involved this year and everyone that's being involved moving forward. I think it'd mean a lot to us all. More so, I think to me, I want to provide that to the teams. I think they deserve it for doing such a good job.
My biggest threat this weekend is Olly Simpson. He's the closest to me in the championship, but we can't forget about Ty Lynch. He's pretty close to us in the championship as well. So, I mean, they're both going to be fast, and as long as we be in front of them, I think we'll be right.
Cameron's proved this year that, you know, he's incredibly talented, and 2, he's taken to the challenge like incredibly well. I don't think anyone really expected him to be as fast as he was. I know at the very start of the year I was a little bit like, oh, we'll see how he goes. But yeah, he's really surprised a lot of people and really shown us that yeah, he's not here to screw around. He's the real deal.
What would it do for my career if I win this weekend? Yeah, I guess it would just put a spotlight on me and just I guess give me opportunities for other teams to see what I can do. Even in this paddock, in the Australian Superbike paddock, you know, we've got a few changes in the Superbikes now. That Troy's leaving Penrite and stuff like that. Penrite Honda. Yeah, I guess it could do anything, but we'll wait and see.
I think my career will be on a pretty good path if I win the championship this weekend. Obviously, my first year in the 600, and I mean, we don't really have a clear path of where we want to go, but I'm sure it'll take us a long way in my career, and if we're able to wrap it up this weekend.
The championship's been really competitive. To be honest, they're more like generational talents than anything. So, yeah, to be able to, you know, I want to beat them at the end of the day. You sit back now and you've got 2 kids kicking your ass, so I'm just like, you know, I really want to get stuck in there. And you know, at the end of the day, everyone wants to win, but I think I want to win a little bit more.
There's one thing we are sure of. 3 into 1 does not go. But let's have a look at your grid. It is Harry Voigt that will start from pole position, Tom Taparis and championship contender Olly Simpson on the front row of the grid. Championship leader Cameron Dunker will start out of position number 4 on the second row of the grid, joined by championship number 3 Ty Lynch and Harry Curry back from riding overseas.
Jonathan Nolis starts row 3 with Scott Nicholson in 8th, and 9th is Dallas Skier having his last ride Jake Farnsworth in 10th. 11th, Hayden Nelson, who's had a bit of an up-and-down weekend. Archie McDonald, another international, back this weekend in 12th. Jack Mahaffey, Jack Favell, and Declan Carberry in 15th.
Yeah, good to see the Honda and Suzuki back there on row 5. Taiyu Aksu back from racing in Japan and also Thailand this year, starting out of position number 16. Cooper Roundtree, the South Australian, in 17th. Mitch Simpson, the younger brother of Ollie, out of position number 18. Declan Van Rossmelen, the Victorian, who's been racing in the AMA Championship, in 19th. And the field rounded out by Josh White on board bike number 142. So I think it's time to take a deep breath, Steve, because the Supersport Championship is up for grabs. It is on the line, and there are 16 points separating the top 3 heading into this first race. Of course, the all-important pole position point was taken by a contender not vying for the championship. Thereby, we come into this round with no change to the top of the order. And Cameron Dunker has had 6 podiums and 4 wins this year. Olly Simpson has had 7 wins and 2 podiums. The only one of those top 3 riders that's actually qualified on pole position is Cameron Dunker this year, and he did that at the 3rd round of the championship at Queensland Raceway.
Yeah, well, Olly Simpson's got to have the race of his life to stay with Voigt and to Paris out front, if that's the way it works out, to make up that deficit to Dunker.
5 points the difference between 1st and 2nd in the championship points handed out at the end of this race. So as Steve said, it is imperative that Olly Simpson wins this race and also gets as many riders as he can between himself and Cameron Dunker to claw back as many points as he can. There's Ty Lynch on board the Unitech supported machine, bike number 85. Looking to bow out from the Supersport Championship in fine style as start line Sam leaves the front of the grid. We get ready to go racing. Michelin SuperSport is go. Great start there from the front row of the grid. Looks like Olly Simpson's got a cracking start. And as he comes across the track and vies with Harry Voigt for the run down in towards turn 1, it is Simpson that is on the inside, but can Voigt sweep across the front as they come down in towards turn 1? No, it is Simpson that leads to Paris up into 3rd. JJ Narlos is up to 4th place.
Oh, we got a faller. Another faller there.
I can't see who that is. That's Jake Farnsworth. Jake Farnsworth is one of those riders, and also is at bike number 37, I think it was, Jack Mahaffey.
Yeah,
that was also
Mahaffey
involved in that incident as well.
Yeah, well, he's lucky to get away with that. So let's hope they can clear that those riders up and they get up and get off the track, because that possibly could bring out a red flag.
That's Declan Van Rossmelen as well on board bike number 25, the addicted to track machine.
Yeah,
red flag.
Red flag. It's difficult to clean up those bikes, and Race Safe will be there on scene straight away to make sure everyone's okay. Crazy Jake not happy with that, but you know, you could just see how hectic that start was when they were heading down. Like, those guys were vying for position, and yeah, unfortunately it didn't work out. But we'll come back to the start, we'll clean up that melee, and we'll do it all again.
Well, we were originally scheduled for a 9-lap race, so we will wait for an update from Race Direction in relation to any revision of the original race distance.
That was a great start, though, by Olly Simpson. He really did, you know, hold the brakes on, got on the brakes late into turn 1, did everything right.
And what about JJ Narlos from the 3rd row of the grid on board bike number 20? He was up to 4th position as they went through turn 1 for the first time. He'll be looking for a repeat of that. We just saw Jordan White making his way back around to start the start grid on board bike number 142, including the old 125 category. We'll have a look at some Honda highlights now of this start. You can see Olly Simpson got that great start off the front row of the grid as they went down in towards turn 1. See if we can see this incident there. Is that Mahaffey, I think it was, that may have crashed first, and then Jake Farnsworth has run over his leg, and the bike's gone completely into the air, and that's when Jake Farnsworth has ended up off the track over there on the outside of turn 2 on the AMX Superstores replay. As Tom Taparis gets ready on the stop and seal machine, start line Sam leaves the front of the grid. We're ready to go racing for Michelin SuperSport. Restart of race 1. Supersport is go. Look like a cracking start once again from Harry Voigt as they make their way down towards turn 1. Olly Simpson tucks into the slipstream this time. Cameron Dunker is on the far left-hand side of the circuit. But as they sweep now to the left and try and get the run down the inside, it is Voigt, Simpson, Dunker to Paris.
Another one down.
Can't see who that is. That's Jack Favell. He's one of those riders.
And Harry Curry.
And Harry Curry on board bike number 43.
Let's hope that they can clean those bikes up.
Looks like they're on the outside of turn 1, not the inside where they were in the first incident. But it is Harry Voigt leading from Olly Simpson to Paris. And Cameron Dunker back into 4th place. Of course, our championship leader coming into this round. Nicholson up to 5th. Ty Lynch in 6th. Hayden Nelson up to 7th. Archie McDonald in 8th. Dallas Gear in 9th. And Teo Aksu up to 10th place.
Oh, another red flag. Another red flag. You can see them putting their hands up again. That is definitely not the way we wanted to start the day with this 600 Michelin SuperSport class. Yeah.
Another red flag. Must be a bit of a clean-up there for the officials.
Well, the thing with this circuit is it's a beautiful circuit, but to get the bikes out of the rubble trap and everything, the gravel traps, you've got to get machinery and stuff onto the track. You can't just like wheel them off. It's because it's such a big open circuit. You really do have to. It looks like Harry Curry's also just still there at the moment. So let's hope that he's okay. He's obviously awake, but still just sitting down at the moment.
Here's an AMX Superstores replay as they come down into turn 1. As they tip in through there, I think it was
Harry Curry.
Harry Curry that's, well, he looked like he lost the front and then tried to regain it back.
No, he lost the rear.
Lost the rear, and then Jack Favell had nowhere to go and hit the back end of Harry's machine.
Yeah, so, yeah, unfortunate there. But once again, you know, like, he's just tipped in there. Also right on the inside of the circuit there where it's, you know, not as clean. That's not the normal line that people would take. So a little bit dirty there. You put that lean angle on, especially with the brakes as you tip in. Try to ask a little bit too much. The back only has got to come around like 6 inches, which is all it moved. It only moved 6 inches, but it moved aggressively because there was no grip. And then he, you know, went over the top, and unfortunately Favell had nowhere to go.
I imagine that this circuit being so wide in some places means that that's probably a little bit easier to happen to get off the prime racing line and onto a little bit of dirty track.
It's, well, you know, it's not like they're riding around here every day. You know, if there was cars and things going around here every single day, well then, you know, perhaps. But it's just such, like you say, a wide circuit that they really do, you know, need to be careful when they're heading into these big tracks. I mean, look how wide that circuit is, and you can see the difference. You can see how run-in it is on the right-hand side of the screen compared to the left-hand side of the screen.
Well, we're coming around to take up our positions on the grid. The third start now for Michelin SuperSport, race number 1. Championship on the line, as we said. 16 points separating the top 3, with Dunker leading by 14 points over Olly Simpson and Ty Lynch, 2 further points arrears. Dunker and Ty Lynch will start from the second row of the grid. Olly Simpson from the front row with our international returnees, Harry Voigt and Tom Taparis. Voigt on pole position as we get ready for a restart. Michelin SuperSport, ready to go. SuperSport is go. Good start there from the front row of the grid. Looked like Ty Lynch didn't get the best start on the Australian motorcycle recovery machine, but as they head down towards turn 1, they're in the middle of the track this time as they all now sweep to the far left-hand side of the circuit. Taparis coming down the inside. Scott Nicholson also trying to get a good run, but it is Harry Voigt that leads. Dunker is up into 3rd position. Around the outside of Dunker goes Tom Taparis. He should have the line coming down into Pirelli now. We've made it safely through turns 1 and 2, Steve. We're off and running.
We certainly are. Ty Lynch got a great start too, moves up into 5th position there. Jonathan Nalos not as good as last time out. Cooper Roundtree's moved up a couple of spots too.
Well, Ty Lynch didn't get the jump off the line. Obviously his experience has put him in the right position as the field came out of turn 1 as he runs very wide into Yamaha Financial Services corner, but then he can stand the bike up and use the fat part of the tyre to accelerate out. Dunker's now back to 4th position. Nicholson looking to try and find his way past Hayden Nelson on board bike number 279, the stop and seal machine, as the field now makes their way through this very, very tricky section of corners that take us as far away from the pitch as we go here at the bend.
Yeah, Archie McDonald, he got a pretty decent start too. We haven't talked too much about him, but he's back here, another international who started in the Junior 150 Blue Crew Cup, now on the 600s and racing overseas as well. So good to see him back here too in the top 10.
So it is Voigt that leads from Simpson. Taparis in 4th place. Cameron Dunker in, Taparis in third, Dunker in fourth, then it's Ty Lynch in fifth place. So our top three in the championship are in the top five of this race with the international visitors, Harry Voigt and Tom Taparis. But it is Voigt that leads still. You can see how good he was on the brakes into Michelin corner as well. Has a quick look over his shoulder, and all he can see is the yellow bike of Olly Simpson, bike number 45, that's going to be able to utilise the slipstream now as they come out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight to complete the first lap of this now 6-lap race.
Olly Simpson's doing a fantastic job at keeping up with Voigt and Taparis, who theoretically are in a different class to these riders here. That's the theory, but I tell you what, Olly Simpson is proving that theory to be wrong at the moment.
JJ Naylor's having a big look down the inside, moving up one position. I think he got the better of Archie McDonald through turn one, but it is Simpson that leads from Voigt and Taparis. Dunker trying desperately to hang on to the back of him, and so is Ty Lynch, doing a good job at the moment.
Yeah, Ty Lynch is in a pretty good position at the moment, I would say. You know, track temperature's hotter as up the inside goes Harry Voigt.
Oh, Taparis had a look up the inside of Olly Simpson as well. Thought that maybe there was enough room for him to sneak through that gap created down into Yamaha Financial Services corner when Voigt went up the inside of Simpson.
Yeah, no, Simpson's doing a very, very good job. Taparis is also, he's the type of rider that will just sit there, do you know what I mean, until the last couple of laps. Bearing in mind, this is a pretty short race now with just 6 laps. It is pretty much a sprint if he can stay in that third position. But if you have a look at that group now, no one's losing anyone. No one's going to run away with this.
No, there was only a second covering that top 5, but here's an AMX Superstores replay of Harry Voigt going down the inside of Olly Simpson. You can see Taparis there just trying to find a way through, thinking that there may have been enough room for him to get the front tyre of the stop and seal machine through that little gap. Has been confirmed by race control. No jump starts in this race. So we're off and running. We're on lap 2 of the 6-lap journey. He sticks very much to the left-hand side of the circuit. Olly Simpson blasts on past utilising the slipstream. Will take up the lead. Will he? Can he get down the inside? No, here comes Taparis.
Oh.
Taparis goes from third into the lead. You can see the stop and seal machine moving around hard on the brakes there for Taparis.
Did you see the puff of smoke coming off Taparis's? I'm not sure if he locked the rear up just a slight bit there or something. I thought I saw a little bit of a puff of braking smoke. We have a look at the AMX replay. He's got the double slipstream there. He moves onto the right-hand side of the number 45, hard on the brakes in there, and makes that move up the inside. That's fully on the limit there.
On this short run now, up to Yamaha Revshahat corner and out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight. It is Taparis that leads. So we've had Voigt, Simpson and Taparis all leading this race at certain times through the 5 laps completed so far. Simpson utilises the slipstream, pulls out from the side, up the hill he goes and down in towards turn 1. Can Taparis come back on the brakes? We've seen his commitment, only a couple of laps to go. It is Simpson back into the lead. Has Dunker moved up into third place ahead of Harry Voigt? It looked like the rider was on a charge. No, not quite. In fact, he looks like he may have just got the brakes a little bit wrong down in towards turn 1 and in fact has dropped off the back of Voigt just a fraction.
Olly Simpson needs a lap of his life now. He really does, to hold these two guys off. He's got some serious talent behind him at the moment.
And how was the movement of Olly Simpson's machine as he came through Ducati corner, the back end, trying hard to step out. He's got the lead still through Financial Services corner, and as they come out round now through this very fast right-handed corner of the circuit, this is where Simpson's been fast, and for the first time in a couple of laps, Steve, he's got no one in front of him.
Yeah, he's definitely fast through this part of the circuit, and this is a part of the circuit where you need to do a lot of laps to know every bump and know what speed to enter. But I'll tell you what, he does pull out on the other guys through there, very quick through that intermediate into the Honda corner. Bit of a bobble there. That is not going to help his speed down the straight. Tom Taparis will be happy with that, but he manages to keep that speed. Taparis on the brakes can't do it there.
Well, we saw this coming out of this corner and into Motor was where Tom Taparis was able to put the passing manoeuvre on last time. He's going for it again, so he's down the inside. Simpson will come on the cutback. Can he get back up the inside this time? No, he can't. Can he?
Oh!
Taparis has ejected himself from the stop and seal machine. A massive crash on the exit of Motul corner. The good news is, looks like Tom's got up and walked away, but now he's got to contend with Harry Voigt, who comes down the inside. Simpson needs to get the bike stopped and turned and come back on the inside.
Voigt's run off as he is. Voigt run off? No, he hasn't.
Simpson's going to be able to utilise the slipstream. No, he's not. He's better bang elbows with Voigt as they come towards the final corner. They've both come out of there slipping and sliding. It'll be a drag race to the flag. Simpson and Voigt. It is Voigt that's going to get the nod. He will. Cameron Dunker will finish in third place as well. Wow, what a race. Unbelievable once again for the Michelin SuperSport category. The eventual winning margin was so small, CompuTime can't even sort it out yet. We'll have to wait for confirmation of that.
Wow, what a race. At least Tom Taparis is up. He really pushed the edge of that tyre. And, man, it didn't pay off for him, unfortunately. But how much did Olly Simpson want that? He wanted it bad. It didn't work out for him, but Harrison Voigt takes the win.
Well, Harry Voigt has taken the win on the timing monitor. The official margin is 0.000 of a second. Cameron Dunker takes third place, 1.6 seconds back. And Ty Lynch takes fourth place. Jonathan Nalos eventually comes through to fifth place. Archie McDonald sixth. Dallas Gear seventh. Hayden Nelson in eighth. Teo Aksu in ninth. And Declan Carberry takes a top 10 finish. I think that would be Declan Carberry's first top 10 finish for the season. I know he actually had a ninth and a seventh at the first round at Phillip Island. Steve, still trying to catch my breath. Now we've sorted out the winning margin, 0.019 of a second for Harry Voigt over Olly Simpson. Cameron Dunker in third. The top two in the championship, second and third in that race. The championship gap will only come down 2 points after that. So Ty Lynch in fourth place, Jonathan Nalos in fifth, Archie McDonald sixth, as we said. Dallas Gear, a good race for him in seventh. Hayden Nelson, Teo Aksu and Declan Carberry round out the top 10.
Mitch Simpson, good result for him in 11th. Cooper Roundtree in 12th. 13th is Declan Van Rosmellen. That's a good result for him too from America. Tom Taparis, who obviously didn't finish. Jordan White, Scott Nicholson, Harry Curry and Jack Favell all had their troubles throughout that race.
You can see there the championship gap has now come down to 12 points between Cameron Dunker on 214 and Olly Simpson on 202, and Ty Lynch has moved up into third place, and our top three have made their way to the AMX Superstore's podium. They're with Kate.
In P, Cameron Dunker, some hairy moments out there, but very important championship points.
Yeah, I mean, this race is good for me being back on the podium, and especially with Ollie coming second, but it was a good race to all them boys. I was just losing a little bit here and there, but cost me in the end. But yeah, I hope Tommy's okay, and like that looked like a nasty one, but I'd just like to thank my team. They've done an awesome job this weekend. Also thanks to Glenn, who's come on board this weekend helping us with a bit of data and stuff, so it's helped out a lot, and just each session just keep improving and hopefully be up in the battle next race.
All right, we'll see you in it.
Thank you.
And in P2, Olly Simpson. Wow, that was a sketchy run to the end. Elbows out, so close.
Yeah, it was such a tough race. I knew us three at the front were going to be battling the whole time. Yeah, I just tried hitting the front as much as I could, and yeah, just tried putting it up with those boys. But yeah, they were really strong in the brakes. I've got to work on that in race too. But yeah, just overall, just tried my heart out. Had him in the last corner, but he just got me in the line. Unfortunately, that's hard for me now to claw back the championship, but I gave him all. I couldn't do no more, so I'm happy with that.
We'll see you in the next race.
Thank you.
And in P1, Harrison Voigt. They're not making it easy for you out there, are they? Not as easy as last year anyway.
No, that's right. Ollie, Tom and even Cam, I noticed he started to catch on. We all started to have a bit of a scrap there towards the end. I tried to get going at the start, although I had a couple of grip issues, so I just tried to stay calm and not learn, but just wait until the last later laps, and I hope Tommy's okay. That looked, again, like what Cam said, bloody nasty, so hopefully he's all right, and yeah, I'm looking forward to race 2.
Well done on that P1.
Thank you.
But quickly, let's get down to Kate and get an update on what's happening. Kate?
Yeah, I just spoke to Robbie Bolger, obviously the team owner. He's not 100% sure what's happened, but he thinks it was a jam wheel.
Right, well, let's recap the grid. Harry Voigt will start from pole position. Tom Taparis won't be starting from the front row of the grid. Olly Simpson will start from position number 3, with Cameron Dunker, our championship leader, by 12 points heading into this race, starting out at position number 4. Ty Lynch and Harry Curry on the second row of the grid. Harry Curry hopefully recovered from that crash earlier on today.
Yeah, Jonathan Nalos is there in 7th. 8th is Scott Nicholson. 9th is Dallas Gear having his last 600 ride. Jake Farnsworth in 10th position. 11th is Hayden Nelson, and 12th Archie McDonald.
Jack Mahaffey in position 13, Jack Favell in 14th, Declan Carberry in 15th, Teo Aksu back from Japan to compete here this weekend, Cooper Roundtree in 17th place, and Mitch Simpson, the middle brother of the Simpsons, in position number 18. Declan Van Rosmellen and Jordan White round out the field. Back down to you, Kate.
Tom Taparis, we saw, obviously you're not out there on the grid. What happened to the bike?
Oh yeah, it was unlucky, I think, with the guys. They did a great job. Obviously I crashed this morning, which made it hard for them, so yeah, just out on the grid, putting the wheel in, I think something happened with one of the spaces or something. So unfortunate to be not racing now after all the effort to come back after this morning, but maybe it's for the best.
You enjoy watching the racing, I guess. Boys, back to you.
Thanks, Kate. Disappointed for Tom Taparis to not be able to show his wares, but some big news breaking with him this weekend. Looks like it could be an exciting 2024 for Tom Taparis. But we're ready to go racing. Michelin SuperSport for the final time this year, Steve. Dunker leads the championship by 12 points over Olly Simpson. SuperSport is go. Looks like a pretty good start there from Harry Voigt as he makes his way all the way across to the right-hand side of the field. And then they will all now sweep across to the left to try and get the best run down into turn one for the first time. Great start from Cameron Dunker as well, but it's Olly Simpson on board bike number 45. The Simpson Crash Race Bike Services machine that takes the lead. And happily, Steve, everyone I think has already made it through turns 1 and 2. Unlike this morning, everyone's away and we're off in Michelin SuperSport.
Yeah, really good to see there. Declan Van Rosmellen there got a good start as well. But it is Olly Simpson who leads the way with Harry Voigt just behind him at the moment, and Cam Dunker in a pretty good position to win the championship at the moment. Up the inside goes Voigt, but he runs wide, and Olly Simpson says, yeah, you can go there, but I'm taking that spot back.
Yeah, as you said, Olly Simpson's done a lot of laps around this circuit. Let's have a look where the other person's done a lot of laps around this circuit is Ty Lynch. He's sitting back in 4th position on board bike number 85. That's the Unitec Racing AMR machine. Bike number 85, just managing to hold off a few hard judges at the moment. JJ Nalis has got an awesome start as well. Ty Lynch has actually been pushed back a couple of spaces there. You can see him now, he's back to about 6th position. He's got Crazy Jake Farnsworth all over the back of him as well. And pushing forward is also Scott Nicholson on board bike number 39. Nicholson's come back from 8th earlier on in this lap to move up into 6th or 7th position.
Look how hard Voigt is pushing early on. He had that bike, the rear wheel in the air, on the brakes, bottomed it out. It was moving around. He's trying pretty hard to keep up with Olly Simpson. Olly Simpson, very, very fast in the opening laps.
Well, one of the things that we've noticed, and you've commented on several times, is that that's the big difference when the riders go overseas and race in high-level championships, like Harry Voigt has been doing, is that the first 1.5 to 2 laps is where they do these races. They conjure up a race win by absolutely decimating the field in the first couple of laps. Olly Simpson is also playing that game as we come down the straight. Inside goes Harry Voigt at the end of the straight down into turn 1 as they come round down now through second corner and then now through Pirelli at turn 3. It is Voigt that leads from Simpson. If anything, Dunker has closed up a fraction, I think, on that part of the race through turn 1, 2 and 3. Oh, how much movement was there from Harry Voigt. He's pushing on very, very hard now. Simpson is going to have to go with him if he wants to be in contention for this race win.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what Simpson needs to do if he's got any chance of winning this championship. Obviously, Cam Dunker, who leads the championship at the moment, sits behind Simpson in the race and not really under any pressure. So Olly Simpson has got to go for this.
Through the fast right-handers, Simpson closes in onto the back of Voigt's machine.
Yeah, Voigt's bike is moving around a decent amount, isn't it? Like, you can just see it every now and then. It has these twitchy moments.
Here we go, a replay of coming down into turn 1. AWMF corner was the scene of that overtake on the AMX Superstores replay. Voigt down the inside, but then it was how much his bike was moving around as he came out of Pirelli corner turn 3 and through Ducati at turn 4. Just showed his clear intent to try and clear out early on in this race and not be under any pressure as we get to half race distance. He's trying desperately hard, but Olly Simpson is not letting him have it all his own way.
No, he's not, but it looks to me like Voigt is starting to lay it down, you know. He's just eking out a little bit here and a little bit there at the moment, so Simpson's going to have to start, like, digging deep to stay with Voigt now. Looks like...
Oh, there's a big crash there.
That's Lynch. Is that Ty Lynch? Gonna have to wait to see. It is Ty Lynch.
It is Ty Lynch, unfortunately, crashes out of his final Supersport race. Not sure if he's going to be able to pick that bike up and get it going again.
Yeah, no, it's all over for Ty Lynch, unfortunately. It's for his championship bid, it's over too. So he will stay in that third position in the championship.
Simpson back into the lead ahead of Voigt now. Harry Voigt knows that, well, I think he commented at the start of race number 1 that there was a fair bit of competition this weekend, and that's Well, a very, very damaged Unitec Racing. You can see there. What was that, Steve? Looks like he lost it on the way in. Maybe locked the rear end up as he was trying to trip into the corner.
Well, he was like very tight on the entry there, and then it just all sort of like locked up. Anyway, on the AMX replay, look at that, up the inside beautifully. Goes Olly Simpson, got a good drive out of the final turn, and let Harrison Voigt know that he's not going to have it all his own way. And then at that point, Voigt's got back in front. So Voigt's going, well, you're not going to have it all your own way. But these guys are going at it to the end, that's for sure.
And Cameron Dunker is doing the very smart thing and just sitting there in a solid third position. He's got a bit of a gap to the lead group, but closing in from behind is also JJ. Jonathan Nalos is closing in very, very quickly on the back of Cameron Dunker. And keep our eye on the lap times, because on that last lap, I think JJ was probably about 0.7 of a second faster than Cameron Dunker was. So if Olly Simpson was to win the race, he would take 25 points. If Cameron Dunker was to finish in 4th place behind JJ in the quest for the final podium of the year, he would take 17 points. So he would still win the championship by 5 points, but it's not a given that Olly Simpson's going to be able to win this race, especially when you've got a rider of the class of Harry Voigt leading this race currently, and Olly Simpson knowing that he's going to have to circulate around at lap record pace to try and take the race home. Having a good battle with Teo Axu, in fact, is Jack Favell on the only Honda in the field. That will change next year when some other riders step into this category on board Honda CBR 600 RRs.
Good for Teo Axu too, because he's moving his way forward in this class, obviously learning the 600 to be already in that top 10 first time out on the 600. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, another one of our riders has been competing overseas racing 600s is Archie McDonald. He's sitting in position number 8 on board bike number 69, just ahead of Jake Farnsworth in 9th position. Perfect opportunity, 4 laps into this 9-lap race to get an update from Kate.
Yeah, speaking of Jake Farnsworth, Crazy Jake, I spoke to his team, and he is actually on the wet bike after his off and back to that stock engine.
Yeah, the stock engine's never going to help you around here, that's for sure, because this is horsepower city, especially with that super long straight there. So he's going to be up against it a little bit. That's why he's back further than we've seen him all weekend.
So Wayne Maxwell there helping out Cam Dunker's dad, and also too, what a way to celebrate your 16th birthday for Cameron Dunker. It's his birthday today, and he could wrap up his first ever 600 Supersport championship in his first year in this category after doing the double of Supersport 300 and Yamaha R3 Cup in 2022. Yep. So a young man certainly in a hurry, but Wayne Maxwell there with Cam's dad Mark on the pit wall there, putting the messages onto the pit board for the young charger from Curry. Curry is unfortunately a forlorn-looking Ty Lynch, realises that his Supersport season has come to an early end. Yeah,
I feel sorry for him. Look how disappointed he is. He's worked hard for this season. He's had a rough run in the last few years. You know, he's got the pace to make it happen. It just hasn't happened for him yet. So let's hope that Ty Lynch can regroup and put it all together and have another crack next year.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching Ty Lynch next year. It's going to be very, very interesting, Steve, as we now focus our sights on Harry Voigt, who's pushing out towards a 1-second lead over Olly Simpson. Well, that was at intermediate number 1. We know that that's probably going to be reduced through intermediate number 2, where Olly Simpson is very fast through these series of fast right-handers. And then as we exit out onto Honda corner, that gap has come down. It's been halved, in fact, through the fast right-hand section, down to 0.4 of a second now.
Yeah, Simpson certainly knows the shortcut through there, doesn't he? He's been very, very quick through there all weekend. And look at that now. He's all over the back of Harrison Voigt again. But massive gap back now then. And,
Dunker's run wide. JJ's up into 4th position.
Almost like he let him go through. Almost like he let him go through there.
He didn't want to have to worry about JJ putting on an overtaking manoeuvre.
That is riding under pressure. It really is. But, I mean, what he's done is he's handed Jonathan Nalos a podium, hasn't he? So Jonathan will be pretty happy with that.
Well, that'll be JJ's second podium of the year.
He is cruising around at the moment, isn't he?
Broke through for his first podium at the last round at Phillip Island. Another rookie in the class, JJ, on board bike number 20. Dad Morris will be very happy with that.
Definitely.
Oh, look at Dunker. I don't know if that was a let him through. That was a run very wide.
Yeah, he's obviously feeling the pressure out there at the moment. I mean, the weight on his shoulders to win this championship. But let's just hope that it doesn't get involved with a fight to get on the podium with Jonathan Naylor. Let him have it. Stay in that position. You can win the championship from there. There's Jack Favell at the back of that group, just behind Teo Aksu. Jake Farnsworth on that bike with a standard motor just in front of him. They're having a nice little battle of their own on the Honda out there. Honda obviously make a pretty decent Supersport bike. Not too many in the field, but Senna Adjus certainly used it to good effect a couple of years ago, winning here, I think it was.
Phillip Island.
Phillip Island,
he
yeah.
rode the Honda Superbike here last year.
That's correct, yes.
And took a very, very good bag of results away from this round. But let's just talk about Cameron Dunker for a moment, Steve, as we watch him and Jonathan Naylor's head round through the back end of the circuit. The first round was tricky conditions, wasn't it? With a bit of wet, bit of dry. 6th position in the first race, didn't start the second race, and 14th in race 3. We went to Sydney Motorsport Park, a track that he's done plenty of laps at. In race number 1, he finished in 5th position. In race number 2, he scored his first ever victory in the Supersport category. And since then, he has only finished off the podium in 1 race, and that was race 2 at Morgan Park, where he finished in 4th place. He has taken victories at Sydney Motorsport Park, Queensland Raceway, Morgan Park and Phillip Island to put himself into this position to be coming into the final round with a 14-point championship lead over Olly Simpson. And now he's doing the smart thing. He is a very, very smart rider, considering that it's only his 16th birthday today. An old head, you would say, on young shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. Just so good to see. And what a year he's had. He's a quick learner. And I wouldn't be surprised that, like all 16-year-olds, he's winning the championship today and getting his L plates tomorrow. So a lot to do for him, a lot on his mind, but definitely feeling the pressure at the moment. He knows he's got that gap back to Scott Nicholson behind him. And the team and Wayne Maxwell will be monitoring that gap, so hopefully that doesn't close down. I mean, it's a massive gap back, so it won't. It's like 5 seconds back to that next group. But if that was to start to close down, that could put some pressure on him.
Also, Cameron Dunker does a lot of training with Maxi Stouffer up there at Curry. They push each other on in the gym. I think Jamie said a couple of times this year that they're almost like brothers, the way that they get along and train with each other. And great to see that Wayne Maxwell, a former teammate of Jamie Stouffer, they've ridden for the same teams multiple times throughout their racing careers, is also acting as a bit of a mentor for young Cameron Dunker following his involvement this year in the FIM Mini GP category, where he went over to Spain and represented Australia as victor in the 190 class. And doing a great job here to wrap up his 2nd championship of the year following that FIM Mini GP victory. At the moment, though, he's got to try and... he wants to get on the podium to celebrate that victory. He's got to try and find his way past a very, very rapid Jonathan Naylor on board bike number 20.
Meanwhile, while these guys are running around at a pretty decent pace, the front two, Harrison Voigt and Olly Simpson, going at it hammer and tong. Voigt's just set the lap record at a 54.5, eclipsing the old lap record, and Olly Simpson is also under the old lap record at a 54.8. He's on 54.7, doing his fastest lap last time round. In fact, 1st and 2nd place equaled lap times at a 54.7 last time through. So these two guys up the front are on fire, and that explains the massive gap. Look at the lead they've got over the rest of the field.
Down into AWMF corner we go. Simpson very, very late on the brakes. You can see that as they came across the line, the gap was 0.9 of a second between our race leader, Harry Voigt, and 2nd place, Olly Simpson. Another new lap record, Steve.
Voigt has gone through again at a 54.522. He's getting quicker and quicker lap by lap. Olly Simpson's cracked slightly with a 155.0 that time round. He's given it everything he's got, but Voigt is proving he's a machine on that R6.
Downhill braking, he could take the optimum line through there, then didn't have to hug the curb like we saw earlier on in this race, where riders were desperately trying to get up the inside. Simpson now has dropped back to the tune of 1.3 seconds following this burst of speed from Harry Voigt through the back end of the circuit. We go back now to Teo Aksu, Jake Farnsworth and Jack Favell that are fighting for 9th, 10th and 11th position. Favell has gone very, very wide down into Yamaha corner.
I haven't seen anyone use that line yet, but he made it work. Voigt. Right, number 3, Cam Dunker with a track limit warning. Okay, a bit of pressure there. Voigt is scraping his elbow on the ground. I don't know if you saw that. Every corner that he's going around, he's pretty much got his elbow scraping on the ground. That's pretty impressive stuff.
So the battle is going on for the lead. It's out to 1.5 seconds now between Harry Voigt and Olly Simpson. And there's a real battle for the podium as well. And that is JJ Nalos looking for his second podium of the year. On board bike number 20. He's won podium for this year. Was at the last round at Phillip Island where he finished in second place in race number 2.
Cam Dunker needs to be so careful now. I hope he can understand that he's had a track limit warning as he heads into this final lap. He doesn't want to run off anymore, but look at Voigt now. Runs through at a 54.8 on the final lap last time around. He's just clocking off the laps. 55.4 for Olly Simpson, which would be an incredible lap time, a second lap quicker than everyone else, and he'd be winning the race if it wasn't for that international up the front.
So Voigt has cleared off. He is heading off towards victory. He's only got to make it round this lap. Olly Simpson will finish in second place. There he goes through Ducati corner. That's a tricky corner too, Steve, because it's a blind entry across the crest, down through another one of the tricky corners here at the bend. Now he heads toward this very fast series of right-hand corners all the way over the back end of the pits.
He's just got such a beautiful style. I really enjoy watching him ride. And he's figured out those long rights as well. He knows how to go through there pretty quick now. And he looks like he's going to keep his perfect record intact.
So Harry Voigt only got a few more corners to go now. Once he comes through Alpine Stars corner, he'll head through the final sector of this racetrack with a 1.5 second lead. Looks like Nalos will hold on to that podium position, and Cameron Dunker will be the champion, but he'll finish in 4th position, exactly the same as Cameron Dunker did in the, Cameron Swain did in the last race. Seems to be a day of Cameron's winning championships here at the bend. As Voigt comes down to Michelin for the final time, Simpson has ridden bravely here today to try and take the race wins, but Harry Voigt keeps his perfect record in order. 6 wins from 6 starts over 3 rounds. Across the line he goes, pulls the bike into a wheelie across the line. Great display of riding from Harry Voigt. Across the line he goes, he takes the race win. Simpson finishes in second, 1.5 seconds behind. Across the line comes Nalos to round out the podium, but York's SuperSport champion for Michelin SuperSport in 2023 is Cameron Dunker, the GTR MotorStars star of the future. Takes his championship, that's 3 championships in 2 years for the young man from Curry Curry.
What a ride by that young man, and what a day to do it on your birthday as well. That's a pretty good present, pretty hard to top, I reckon, Phil.
Yep, I'm not sure how you gift wrap that one, Steve, as Dunker celebrates that championship, makes his way around the circuit now.
Wow, what a ride for him.
And Teo actually crashed on the last lap on board bike number 91. Celebrates with a stand-up wheelie. So congratulations to Cameron Dunker and the team. Of course, he did have one significant addition to the team this weekend. That is Glenn Richards, who'd been helping him out with a fair bit of data. And Steve, you know Glenn Richards better than anybody, and he is certainly a genius when it comes to that sort of stuff, and also a very handy rider too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's the man you want to have in your corner. He knows everything about these R6s in particular. Very experienced guy, and he's certainly helped Cam Dunker at the right time.
Harry Voigt takes the race win by 1.5 seconds, including a new lap record over Olly Simpson, who ends up second in the championship. JJ Nalos rounds out the podium on board bike number 20. Cameron Dunker, your 2023 Michelin SuperSport champion, finishes in 4th position, and he'll be back in the AMX Superstores podium with our top 3. Nicholson takes 5th. Skier takes 6th in his final race in the Michelin SuperSport category. Hayden Nelson rounds out the top 7 on his spare bike after crashing his big bike this morning. Archie McDonald in 8th, Jake Farnsworth in 9th, and Jack Pavel on board the lone Honda in the field rounds out the top 10.
The South Australian on the Suzuki, Declan Carberry in 11th. Mitch Simpson, the brother of Ollie, who finished second in 12th. Good result from him. Teo Aksu went down on the last lap, managed to pick it up and get over the line. Cooper Roundtree in 14th. 15th, Declan Van Rosmellen. Jordan White and Ty Lynch, obviously, who fell off halfway through the race.
So there's all the boys coming back into pit lane. Right next to him, Max Stouffer there, congratulating Cameron Dunker. Heath Griffin, also one of the men responsible for setting up that team and looking after Cameron Dunker over a few years now, ever since he made his debut in the SuperSport 300 category a couple of years ago, when they identified that he was a serious talent of the future. And they've done a pretty good job in nurturing him to take out 3 championships in 2 years.
Yeah, no, so good to see. And I mean, this guy, he's come such a long way since he almost seemed like he came into the championship a couple of years ago just as a bit of fun. But it's getting a lot more serious now, and he's showing a lot more pace.
Well, final championship standings. Cameron Dunker takes the championship by 9 points over Olly Simpson. Ty Lynch, despite that crash, secures 3rd place in the championship in his final year in the SuperSport category after being a competitor here for many, many years. Dallas Skier finishes 4th in his final season as well, so congratulations to Dallas. And Scott Nicholson rounds out the top 5 of your championship. Troy Corser on hand to congratulate the 2023 champion, Cameron Dunker. Yeah. There's Glenn Richards putting the stand underneath the back of the bike as well. The congratulations of everybody as he makes his way back into Park Fermé, the special champion helmet as well.
Scott Bishop there in the background, Motorsport Yamaha manager as well. Obviously, you know, guys like him are keeping an eye out on the young talent coming through, especially when they're Yamaha mounted, as Cam Dunker is. And what a job he's done.
There's not really much you can say about this guy when he makes his debut in the championship and has a pretty good first round, but then from the second round onwards is only off the podium in 1 race for the rest of the season. I think Ty Lynch summed it up perfectly in that SuperSport piece. Both he and Olly Simpson, they're generational talents.
Yeah, absolutely. You get them come through every now and then, and you know, there seems to be a couple coming through from the Australian Championship in different classes now. Let's head down to Kate.
Cameron Dunker, congratulations, you are the 2023 Michelin SuperSport 600 champion. Wow, what a rookie ride and what a sweet 16th birthday.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's obviously, like, it's my 16th birthday, so this is a perfect birthday present, and I definitely couldn't be here without like the GDR Motostars team. They've put in everything to me, and just everyone who's come along and helped us through the way, like Paulie has been there for a couple of rounds, and Glenn, he's come in for this round, so it's been awesome to work with some some top guys, and yeah, I'm really stoked to be here and hopefully do it again next year.
Well, the T-shirt looks great, the helmet looks great, you go celebrate.
Thank you.
All right, P1 for the race, please. Put your hands together to Harrison Boyd. Harrison, you put that hammer down and have kept that perfect race record going.
Yeah, that time was much better. I was able to get into my rhythm and try and manage a gap, I guess you could say. Ollie rode really well. He had good pace. He was keeping me honest, and I was pushing every lap. And yeah, big thank you to all my little crew in the corner. Without them, nothing would be possible. And a big congrats to my best mate, Cameron Dunker, on his first ever season of 600 and won the championship. So unreal, mate. You deserve this, and I'm proud of you.
So good. Well, it's great to have you here. We hope you come back next year.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, and P2 for the race and P2 in the championship. Olly Simpson, that was some serious cat and mouse there with Harrison Boyd. You're on fire this week with lap times. Are you happy with your performance out there?
Oh, look, as a rider, you're never happy, like, unless you're in front, unless you're winning. But no, honestly, it was a really good weekend. The times we were doing were pretty much like on lap record pace, and yeah, Harrison just rode a little bit better in that one. I struggled a bit on the rear. I think just got a bit too hot on the first few laps, but yeah, just rode my heart out and yeah, come up short. That's all I can do. Yeah.
You go and enjoy this moment with the rest of your family and South Australian crew.
Thank you. I'm still happy.
And in P3 for the race, JJ Nalas. Wow, you are just going from strength to strength, aren't you? Did you feel like good out there?
Yeah, feeling really good. After the start to the weekend, was struggling to get back to where I was, and yeah, so quali wasn't too much better, but a little bit of improvement, and then races just clicked for me a bit. Yeah, so stoked to be up here, obviously. Congrats to Cam for winning the championship, and Ollie for the P2. Yeah, thank you.
Great season, well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, congratulations to our top three and our 2023 champion, Cameron Dunker. Second place, Olly Simpson, and third place, Ty Lynch, after 55 starts in the Supersport category. Ty Lynch will be changing categories next year. But that man is certainly a man in a very, very big hurry at the moment, Steve. 2 championships, as we mentioned last year, Supersport champion this year. What does the future hold for this guy? Certainly there's something in the water at Curry that produces unbelievably good riders.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder if we will see him step up the Superbike next year. I know he says he's going to stay and hopes to stay on the 600 next year, but he's already been there and done that. So what is the next step for this young man, apart from getting his driving licence tomorrow?
Oh, congratulations to Cameron Dunker. Just have a look at his stats for this year. 12 races, 6 wins, a pole position, and what an unbelievable season to round it out for him. Rookie in the championship, along with JJ Naylors, both of them scoring podiums, and JJ having a pretty good debut year. But when you have a debut year, when you win the championship, that's Marc Marquez-esque, really, isn't it?
Oh, top stuff, yeah. I mean, it's a dream come true. Normally, I mean, there's a big difference in riding a 300 Supersport bike to a 600 Supersport bike, that's for sure. I mean, it's got more than double the power. A whole lot more speed and a whole lot more, you know, rear wheel spin that you need to get used to, braking, more setup things. So, you know, it's a big deal.
Thanks, Phil. Yes, indeed. Steve Martin, wow, what a massive season, what a massive weekend at the Bend.
Oh, absolutely, Kate. I mean, I'm always so emotional when I come to these rounds. I mean, the final round of the year, I'm so happy. You know, when I see guys like Troy Herfoss and how deep he's dug in the year. And then on the other hand, I'm so emotionally upset for, you know, the Waters team. But then there's young guys like, you know, the Dunkers and the Swains that have won. So happy for them. And then you see the others that could have won and didn't. So, you know, like, it's just one of those emotional roller coaster years. But that's why we do it, because we love it.
Exactly. Well, a huge thank you for having myself and for Steve and for Phil Harlem as well. The My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motor. And we will see you next year. Have a great Christmas.